Welcome to your deep dive on mindfulness and stress reduction. I know you are hoping to find some practical ways to manage stress and really understand the science behind mindfulness.
Absolutely.
We've got some great material to go over.
We do.
Excerpts from two articles, one called How to Manage Stress with Mindfulness and Meditation from mindful.org,
Okay.
and the other called Mindfulness Meditation, a research-proven way to reduce stress from the American Psychological Association.
Great sources.
So our mission is to really equip you with some strategies to actually try out yourself.
Yes.
And also give you a deeper understanding of how this all actually works.
The connection between stress and mindfulness.
First things first.
Okay.
Stress.
Ah,
We all know what it feels like,
Okay.
but let's break it down.
Sure.
How does it actually work?
Well, the National Institute of Mental Health defines stress as essentially your brain and body's reaction to any demand.
Okay.
It's that fight or flight response that we've heard of,
Right.
which is designed to keep us safe.
So that means that stress can actually be a good thing.
Exactly. Short bursts of stress can actually help us focus and perform under pressure.
Uh-huh.
The problem is when it becomes chronic, always there in the background.
Okay.
And that's when it starts to affect our health and well-being.
So that's when we need to do something.
Yes.
How does mindfulness come in?
Well,
Does it just help us avoid stressful situations?
actually, it's a bit of a misconception that mindfulness is about avoiding stress.
Okay.
It's not about avoiding stress, but about changing how we respond to it.
I see.
Mindful.org cites some Australian research showing that present moment awareness, which is a key part of mindfulness,
Okay.
actually helps build resilience.
Interesting.
And resilience is really about
Uh-huh.
how much you believe you can handle the situation,
Right.
staying true to your values even under pressure, and not getting caught in trying to avoid stressful feelings altogether.
So it's more about facing it head on, but in a mindful way.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that. Mindful.org also mentions these 4 ways to calm the mind.
Okay.
So let's talk about those.
Yeah, let's dive in.
One is breathing exercises.
Yes.
Now, if I'm feeling stressed, forcing myself to breathe deeply just seems so counterintuitive.
I understand.
It's-
It might seem that way, but consciously changing your breathing can actually trigger what's called the relaxation response,
Okay.
and particularly extending your exhales.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like flipping a switch from your sympathetic nervous system, which is all about fight or flight,
Okay.
to the parasympathetic system, which is all about calming down.
So I'm hacking my nervous system using my breath.
Exactly.
You got it.
I will definitely be trying that later.
Good.
Let's talk about some of these other ways to calm the mind.
Sure.
Self-compassion.
Yes.
I've heard that term before.
Yeah,
To be honest, it always sounded a little fluffy to me.
I can see that.
But how can self-compassion actually help with stress?
It's really about treating yourself with the same kindness that you would offer a friend.
We tend to be our own worst critics.
Right.
Self-compassion is about noticing those critical thoughts without judgment
Okay.
and reminding yourself that everyone makes mistakes.
So it's more about shifting my mindset
Right.
than anything else.
Yeah, you're acknowledging your emotions without letting them control you.
I see.
It's a more sustainable approach
Yeah.
than trying to force those stressful feelings away.
That makes sense.
Good.
Especially, I think, in those moments when you're just spiraling with all these negative thoughts.
Absolutely. And speaking of nurturing genuine connection with others is also a key way to calm the mind.
That makes sense. We're social creatures.
We are.
But it does feel like in today's world, genuine connection is becoming more and more difficult.
It is, and that's why it's even more important to be intentional about it.
Okay.
Setting aside dedicated time for loved ones.
Huh.
Putting those phones away and really listening to each other can do wonders for our well-being.
So it's not about the quantity of time, but the quality of connection.
You get
Got it.
good.
What about compassion for others?
Yes.
How can that help calm my mind?
It's interesting because it seems a little counterintuitive.
It does.
When we're stressed, our instinct is to focus on our own problems.
Right.
But shifting your focus outwards, even for a moment,
Okay.
can actually reduce your own stress.
Interesting.
Helping someone else can provide perspective and remind you of what truly matters.
You know, that reminds me of this one time when I was having just a terrible day.
Yeah.
And then a friend called needing help with something,
Mm-hmm.
and just focusing on supporting them completely shifted my mood.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best way to calm your own mind is to help someone else calm theirs.
I love that.
Good.
Okay, so we've talked about these ways to calm the mind, but what about the physical effects of stress?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The CDC and the 2019 Stress in America survey found that stress is becoming a major health concern.
Wow.
It's linked to everything from heart disease to obesity.
So stress isn't just an emotional issue.
No,
It's a physical one, too.
absolutely. When you're stressed, your body releases a flood of hormones, including cortisol.
Right.
Over time, high levels of cortisol could really wreak havoc on your system,
Wow.
leading to inflammation, weakened immunity, and even changes in brain structure.
I never realized how deeply it could affect our bodies.
It's powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
Mindful.org talks about this vicious cycle of stress and unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Stress leads to poor sleep, which leads to, bad food choices, which leads to more stress.
It's a downward spiral that a lot of us get caught in.
Absolutely.
And at the root of it all is inflammation,
Okay.
which is the common thread in so many chronic diseases.
So how do we break free from this cycle?
Well, that's where mindfulness comes back in.
Uh-huh.
Mindfulness helps us become more aware of our stress response, and it gives us the tools to regulate it.
Okay.
One technique that mindful.org highlights is intentional breathing.
Intentional breathing.
Yes.
So that sounds like more than just taking a few deep breaths.
It is. It's about bringing your full attention to the breath, noticing the sensations without judgment, and observing how your body responds.
I'm intrigued.
Want to try it?
Sure, I'm game.
Great. Let's find a comfortable position. Close your eyes and just notice your natural breath. Don't try to change it, just observe.
Okay, I'm doing that.
Now, place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly.
Okay.
Feel the rise and fall of your breath as you inhale and exhale.
Oh, wow. It's amazing how I take breathing for granted.
Yeah,
But I can feel my chest expanding and my belly rising and falling.
good.
It's actually quite relaxing.
Now try to direct your breath into your chest, feeling the sensations beneath your hand.
Okay, feeling that it's a subtle difference,
Uh-huh.
but I can definitely feel it.
Next, shift your focus to your lower lungs, breathing into the space beneath your hand on your belly.
Okay,
Notice the difference in how your body moves with each breath.
noticing that.
Now try taking half breaths.
Okay.
Inhale into your chest,
Uh-huh.
pause, and then inhale the rest of the way into your belly as you exhale. Reverse the process.
It's like a gentle rocking motion.
Yes. Now transition to full breaths, inhaling deeply from top to bottom and exhaling from bottom to top.
I can feel the air filling my lungs completely.
Finally, take a few moments to reflect on your experience. What did you notice? How do you feel?
I feel much calmer. It's incredible how such a simple practice can have such a noticeable effect.
That's just the beginning. There's a whole world of research that shows just how powerful mindfulness can be for stress reduction.
I can't wait to dive into that.
Me too. The APA article goes into the fascinating science behind it all.
Let's talk about that. I'm definitely ready to delve deeper into how mindfulness actually works.
We'll do that, and I think you'll be amazed at just how much mindfulness can change your brain and your body for the better.
We've experienced intentional breathing firsthand,
We have.
but let's delve into the science behind mindfulness and stress reduction.
Okay.
What does the APA article say about how this actually works on a neurological level?
Well, it turns out mindfulness impacts two key stress pathways in the brain.
Okay.
Studies have shown that mindfulness practice actually reduces activity in the amygdala,
Uh-huh.
which is the part of our brain that is responsible for that, triggering the stress response.
So it's like mindfulness is actually calming down the part of my brain
Right.
that freaks out when I'm stressed.
You got it. And at the same time, mindfulness increases activity in the prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
which is the area of the brain responsible for things like planning, decision-making, and emotional regulation.
So it's a double whammy.
It is.
Mindfulness is calming down the reactive part of my brain
Uh-huh.
and strengthening the part that helps me stay level-headed.
Exactly.
I like it.
Good.
Now, mindful.org outlines 9 key ways mindfulness reduces stress.
Okay.
And one that stands out to me is becoming aware of your thoughts without taking them literally.
Yeah.
So instead of getting swept away by every thought that clocks into my head,
Right.
mindfulness helps me to step back
Uh-huh.
and observe them.
Exactly. Our thoughts are not always facts.
Okay.
They can be influenced by, our emotions, past experiences, all sorts of things.
Right.
Mindfulness helps you create space between yourself and your thoughts so you can choose which ones to engage with
Mm-hmm.
and which ones to let go of.
Yeah. I know when I'm stressed, my thoughts tend to spiral.
They do.
It would be helpful to have a way to just interrupt that cycle.
And that's another key benefit of mindfulness,
We're okay.
pausing before reacting.
Okay.
It's about interrupting that automatic response that can lead to unhelpful behaviors.
So it's like pressing pause.
Yes.
Before I say or do something I'll regret.
You got it.
Mindful.org calls this engaging the wise mind.
They do.
Is that what they mean?
Exactly. It's about accessing that part of yourself that can see the bigger picture
Okay.
and make decisions from a place of both logic and compassion.
So it's not about suppressing my emotions.
Right.
It's about responding to them in a more skillful way.
Exactly.
Got it.
And remember the being mode we talked about earlier?
Uh-huh.
Mindfulness helps activate that being mode,
Yeah.
which is all about relaxation, acceptance, and connection.
As opposed to the doing mode, which I think most of us are in most of the time.
Right. And think about how often we ignore our body's signals when we're in that doing mode.
Yeah.
Mindfulness helps us tune in to those signals,
Okay.
whether it's needing rest food or movement.
So it's about becoming more aware of what our bodies are trying to tell us.
Exact.
Now, mindful.org also talks about this technique called the stress breath,
Yes.
developed by Andres Gonzalez.
Yes.
What's that all about?
So the stress breath is a 3-part breathing exercise
Okay.
designed to quickly calm the nervous system,
Uh-huh.
and you can use it anywhere, anytime.
Okay.
It involves audible exhalations, audible inhalations, and holding your breath while you lock your chin.
Audible breathing
Yes.
seems counterintuitive to relaxation.
It might seem strange,
It does.
but there's a reason for it.
Okay.
Making your breath audible actually stimulates the vagus nerve,
Mm.
which plays a major role in regulating our stress response.
I've heard of the vagus nerve,
Yeah.
but remind me, what does that do?
It's like a superhighway connecting your brain to your body,
Oh,
specifically your organs that are involved in relaxation.
interesting.
Stimulating the vagus nerve activates your parasympathetic nervous system,
Okay.
which is that rest and digest state that we want to tap into when we're stressed.
So by making my breath audible,
Uh-huh.
I'm sending a signal to my body to chill out.
Precisely.
I like it.
Good. So the first part of this stress breath is called fog the mirror.
Fog the mirror.
Yes. You exhale audibly,
Yeah.
making a ha sound,
Okay.
like you're fogging up a mirror.
I can picture that.
Good. What's next?
What's next?
You make the inhalation audible too.
Okay.
So you start with the same ha sound,
Uh-huh.
but after 2 seconds, close your mouth and continue inhaling through your nose.
Okay.
So you should feel the sound coming from the back of your throat.
So I'm channeling my inner Darth Vader.
You got it.
Okay, and the final part.
Involves holding your breath and locking your chin.
Okay.
So after you inhale,
Uh-huh.
you hold your breath, lower your chin to your chest and count to 5,
Yeah.
then lift your head as you exhale.
Got it.
So it's exhale, inhale, hold, repeat.
Sounds easy enough.
Let's try it together.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Inhale deeply, using the fog, the mirror technique, feeling that vibration at the back of your throat.
Okay.
Hold your breath from your chin to your chest and count back from 5.
Okay.
Exhale audibly through your nose as you lift your head. That's 1 cycle. We'll do 12 in total.
I'm feeling it. This is surprisingly powerful.
It is, and the best part is you can do this anywhere, anytime.
Wow.
Gonzalez even suggests using everyday objects as cues to practice.
Like what?
Your car keys, for example.
Okay.
Every time you grab your keys, you could do 12 stress breaths. Just a mini meditation ritual to help transition between work and home.
Oh, I love that idea.
Good.
So simple, yet so effective.
Now, while we're talking about routines,
Okay.
Mindful.org also brings up the problem of stress-induced insomnia.
Yeah,
Difficulty sleeping is a huge issue for a lot of people.
absolutely. I've definitely experienced that. When my mind is racing, it just feels impossible to fall asleep.
I hear you. What do they recommend?
What do they recommend?
They suggest a few different strategies, like mindfulness meditation before bed.
Okay.
There are some great guided meditations specifically for sleep
Huh?
that can help calm the mind and prepare you for rest.
I've tried those before, and they definitely help.
Good. What about other strategies?
All the other strategies.
They also talk about deep breathing exercises,
Okay.
like diaphragmatic breathing and the 4-7-8 technique.
I've heard of the 4-7-8 technique, but I'm not really sure how it works.
So it's a specific pattern of breathing.
Uh,
You inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 7, and exhale for a count of 8.
okay.
Super simple,
Uh-huh.
but it helps slow down your heart rate and promote relaxation.
Okay, and what about mindful movement?
Right. Gentle yoga poses focusing on stretching and relaxation can be really helpful for releasing tension and winding down before bed.
I love doing some light stretching before bed.
Good. It definitely helps me relax.
Yeah. And finally, listening to calming music can also be incredibly effective for sleep.
It can.
Studies have shown that music can actually be more effective than progressive muscle relaxation for easing anxiety and insomnia.
That's fascinating.
It is. I often listen to nature sounds or ambient music before bed.
That's great. It's a
Yeah.
great way to create a peaceful atmosphere and signal to your body that it's time to rest.
Yeah.
Now, both mindful.org and the APA article highlight the power of guided meditations, particularly for stress reduction.
They both do.
Yes, that's interesting.
It is. What kind of meditations are they talking about?
Mindful.org provides links to a few different ones,
Okay.
including a body scan meditation led by Dr. Mark Burton,
Okay.
a STOP practice led by Elisha Goldstein,
Mm-hmm.
and a breathing practice led by Zindel Segal.
Those sound worth checking out.
They are
Is there a particular type of meditation that's been proven to be most effective for stress?
Well, mindful.org actually mentions a study that found the body scan meditation can significantly reduce cortisol levels.
So it's not just about feeling relaxed. It's
Correct.
actually changing my body's stress response on a hormonal level.
Exactly.
Wow, how does the body scan meditation work?
So it involves systematically bringing your attention to different parts of your body, starting with your toes
Okay.
and moving all the way up to the top of your head.
Uh,
You simply notice any sensations you feel without judgment.
okay.
It's a great way to cultivate mindfulness and release tension throughout your body.
That sounds like something I could easily incorporate into my daily routine.
It is, and it's a powerful example of how even a few minutes of mindfulness practice can have a real impact on your well-being.
I'm starting to see how mindfulness isn't just some woo-woo concept, but a scientifically backed approach
Right.
to managing stress and improving my overall health.
It is, and the best part is it's accessible to everyone.
That's great.
You don't need any fancy equipment or expensive retreats,
Uh-huh.
just a willingness to be present and pay attention.
Mindfulness,
Yes,
a simple yet powerful tool for creating a calmer, more fulfilling life.
I like that.
So what does all this mean for you?
That's a great question.
We've gone deep into the science,
Yeah.
and we've explored some of these practical techniques.
We have.
But how can you actually start incorporating mindfulness into your own life?
I think the first step is to experiment.
Okay.
Not every technique is going to resonate with everyone.
Uh-huh.
Try out different practices, explore different guided meditations, and see what feels most beneficial for you.
So find what fits.
Exactly.
Got it.
It's all about finding what fits your needs and preferences.
And don't get intimidated, you know?
Right.
It doesn't have to be this big, huge thing.
It does.
Do I dedicate hours of my day to it?
Absolutely, not even just a few minutes.
Okay.
Of mindful breathing or a short body scan can make a difference.
That's great.
It's about progress, not perfection.
I like that.
And don't get discouraged if your mind wanders at first.
Yeah.
That's completely normal. Just gently guide your attention back to the present moment.
It's like building a muscle.
It is.
The more you practice it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. And if you're looking for extra support, there are tons of resources available.
Oh, good.
Classes, workshops, online communities, even apps.
Wow.
You don't have to go it alone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yes.
what's one key takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
I'd say remember that mindfulness is a journey, not a destination.
Ooh.
There's always more to learn and explore. Approach it with curiosity, kindness, and a sense of playfulness.
I love that. And remember, even small moments of mindfulness can have a big impact
Absolutely.
on your day.
Yes.
You know, you can practice mindfulness while you're walking, eating, showering.
Right.
It doesn't have to be, a formal meditation session.
Exactly. Just take a few deep breaths. Notice the sensations of your body. Appreciate the simple things around you.
Yeah.
That's mindfulness in action.
You have the power to create a calmer, more peaceful life starting right now.
Yes, you do.
We believe in you.
We do.
So as you go about your day, remember to breathe, to be present, and to be kind to yourself. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, come back to these simple mindfulness techniques.
Yes.
They're always there for you.